Sometimes there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Sometimes we're not ourselves. There's no one I can turn to. And I know all the feelings that we shared out in the past. And I know your relationships are never meant to last. And I'll take some time, but I'll be alright. We're moving on. We're moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on. Sometimes there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Sometimes we're not ourselves. There's no one I can turn to. And I'll take some time, but I'll be alright. We're moving on. We're moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Hello, family. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just sitting here doing this music. Good morning. I know that we had a microphone issue last week. Oh, come on, Michael. If you want to be funny, you're gonna fix it. So we had that technical last week. I mentioned that you guys have been loud and clear. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Chuck. Welcome back, Michael. We missed you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Good morning, Tyson. Good morning, Admiral. I see you guys. I see you guys. Good morning, Lord. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Mr. Jackie. This is on and on. Good morning, Tish. Good morning, I see you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, sound is pretty bad. I'm going to thank you for that. Okay, how is this? Hey, Nanette, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a second and tell me if this is any better. Someone put it in the chat or give me a text message because I definitely want you guys to be able to hear me today. Michael, yes, yes, yes. Better, better, better. Is it better or is it good? All right, good. All right, perfect. Apparently I needed to switch the microphone in the app as well. So thank you guys and welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, my beautiful goddaughter, how should I see you over there? Listen, y'all. So the first thing I want to do is say thank you all for showing up. How have you all been enjoying the series we've been doing on why should we elect you? Let me hear from you in the comments because while I'm telling you guys something, somebody tell me what is a Yahoo? We're just going to jump into this part of the conversation, but that's not what we're talking about today. And I have to be off at 9:30, so we're not going to be here long. Listen to this. What's a Yahoo? Someone tell me what a Yahoo is. I need y'all to look that up and put it in the chat because I'm a little bit confused. So there's a comment on YouTube that was left in response to the segment we did with Luana Hurd on her running for office in Johns Creek. And his name is Gary Miskovic. I do not have a problem saying your name publicly because you posted on my channel. So here's what he said. So the people currently in office has led Johns Creek to being one of the wealthiest cities in America, one with a very low crime rate. Yet here comes you yahoos thinking it needs to be changed. Screw blue, vote red. First of all, Gary, let us school you real quick on how we do things on Unfiltered. It's not about blue. If you watch the show, you know that. It's not even about red. If you watch the show, you would know that. You'd also understand that a city council position is nonpartisan. So why are we talking about screw blue and go red? Why are we calling people yahoos, right? Because they're voicing their opinion. So what? Johns Creek is wealthy. Does that mean that they don't need to improve some things? Does that mean that they don't want some change? If you knew anything at all about Unfiltered and what we stand for and what our audience represents, you would know that you can't categorize us. You would know that you can't put us in a square. You can't put us in a hole, that we make decisions for ourselves, that we speak for ourselves, that we vote for ourselves. And it has nothing to do with an elephant or a donkey. You see, donkeys go where they're led. We're not donkeys over here. We think for ourselves. We vote for ourselves. And it has nothing to do with the color. It's about the character. So I don't know what Yahoo is. Like, if y'all know what a Yahoo is, maybe y'all can tell me. I don't know what a Yahoo is. Maybe you just couldn't come up with another word. I don't know what that is. But I can tell you right now, there are no Yahoos watching Unfiltered. There may be some in the comments section, but I don't know about that. Okay, so I just had to deal with that for a moment, get that off my chest. So, let me make sure I get your name right. Gary Miskovic, thank you for your comments. And your comment is very inspiring, and it will not be deleted. And the reason it will not be deleted is because you just exposed yourself for who you are. Screw blue, vote red. You're in an assembly line. We're not. So that being said, you guys, welcome to this episode of Unfiltered, where we just got a little bit unfiltered. So here we go. Guys, listen to this. This morning, I woke up to, do you all remember that episode we did where Michelle Renee was on and we talked in detail about the need to be ready? We talked about the fact that you have to have food resources available. Do y'all remember that? We talked about making sure that your storehouse was full because things are happening in the world that you need to be aware of. The supply chain is being disrupted, right? You have employment or labor shortages. Let's talk about that for a quick second, and we're going to have an episode on that next week. How about Katrina, and you can post it in the chat, was going to pick us up some food from Chipotle. She sends me a text message and says, "Oh, I can't bring Chipotle today." And I was like, "Why?" She said, "Because the lady said she's the only one here and has to prep all the food and prepare everything. So she can't open the store because nobody wants to work." Anybody experience that? We're going to talk about that next week. That's just a sidebar, but we're going to have a whole conversation with people who are trying to hire people and can't get people to work. And this mentality that's been created over the last year where people are still apparently able to eat and not work. I thought the word said, if you don't work, you don't eat. But apparently there's a culture that's being created that says that you can now do that. Did that culture come about in the time during COVID where everyone was getting stimulus checks? Did it come about because of PPP loans? Did it come about because of what other checks were out there? You guys help me. Stimulus checks, whatever it was. What kind of culture was being created? And what does that culture ultimately lead to? And more importantly, what demographic is being affected by that culture? We're going to talk about it, and we need to pay attention to it because we sitting back. Some people just sitting back and falling in line, but we can't afford to do that. Thank you, Tyson Thompson. We can't afford to be in that poverty mindset. But we were talking with Michelle about the fact that we need food resources, and we need to make sure that we have our storehouses, and we need to be prepared for the storm, because a storm is coming. Guys, not just a figurative storm, because there's so much happening, but like literal storms. So today we're going to talk about the weather. I know it's one of those things where like, you're like, people talk about the weather when they have nothing else to talk about. No, we're going to talk about the weather because it's big and it's something to talk about. Where's my sister Nita? Tish, I need you to get her on here. So let's talk about this. I'm going to switch camera and I want to show you something. This morning, I woke up to this and said, okay, we need to talk about the weather. And yes, I see you, Trina, the same thing with the medication. Did y'all know that there was a earthquake today near Acapulco, a major resort destination right in Mexico? We're going to talk about that too, Jackie. Thank you. We woke up to an earthquake, and you can see where stuff is falling all over the different buildings. You can see that in the picture. And one of the things we need to be aware of, like fully aware of, is it's not isolated incidents that we're talking about, y'all. We're not talking about isolated incidents. This happened. It was a 7.1 magnitude earthquake that struck near Acapulco. That was today. But think about even Ida last week. Now, we're used to seeing hurricanes and things like that in the South and the Northeast and places like that. That's not what we're talking about right now. There's something else that happened. Did y'all see what happened in New York City? Y'all saw this? New York City was not built to withstand this. I have never before seen. Do y'all see what's happening in the subway system? The water running down into the subways, and it happened in a matter of minutes. They're talking about the fact that the flash flood came so quickly that nobody was prepared for it. So I'm asking y'all today, are you ready? Are you ready for the storm? Are you ready for these changes that are so apparent? And then I got to show you guys this picture down here. And we're right now looking at CNN. Y'all, this is an expressway. Now, clearly, this had to happen with some type of intensity or some type of speed for people's cars to be sitting on an expressway, the major Deegan Expressway in Bronx. Okay, this is what's happening. But then that's not the only thing. Y'all see this tornado in the picture? Y'all, that's New Jersey. New Jersey issued its first ever tornado emergency. Y'all, we better pay attention to what's happening. And then they had this video over to the right that you guys can probably hopefully see somewhere near my head, where all of that flooding, there was flooding, houses floating down the street in Mississippi. These are things that are currently happening. And of course, you all know recently we had the Haiti earthquake, which was followed by a hurricane. They cannot get a break. They can't cover. But did y'all know the world's on fire? This was back in this just was reported that they just now are allowing residents to come back to Lake Tahoe because they had issued a mandatory evacuation because of all the fires that are burning. But fires aren't just burning in California. Fires aren't just burning and threatening Lake Tahoe. They're also happening on the other side of the world in Sicily. Did y'all know that we had like 130 degree weather day somewhere in Nevada this year? Sicily had 120 degree heat that was threatening the record. But not only that, they're also fighting fires. There are so many places where the world is on fire. And Italy has gotten to the point where they decided that these extreme weather events that they're having have become the new normal. They're having everything from fires to tornadoes to flash floods to all kinds of things are happening, and it's happening more frequently. So we have to pay attention. And in the midst of all that, we have this question being posed by the Wall Street Journal. Why you can't find everything you want at grocery stores? It's because of the labor shortages we're going to talk about next week. It's because raw materials are scarce, right? And the problem right now, y'all, is worse than it was during the height of COVID, during the shutdowns, during all that stuff. And thank you, Michael, for pointing out the things are being exposed. Because Michael just pointed out something we can talk about here, the basement apartments in New York. The illegal basement apartments in New York where people literally drowned and died. And of course, they had no business being there. And so that's being exposed, and that danger, it happened just like that. And here's what I'm here to tell you today. Just because it hasn't happened before doesn't mean it will not happen. Y'all, we got to pay attention. We have to stay awake. We have to be prepared. So the question I have for you today is, what's in your storehouse? What's in it? What's in your storehouse? Are you prepared? For example, if something happened and there was either a flash flood or, God forbid, a tornado or something happened, because they've been even having mudslides, right? Where you had to stay home for a month. How many of you, raise your hands, are prepared? How many of you have what you need? Do you have dry goods? Do you have rice? Do you have beans? Do you have a way to cook if you don't have a gas stove and all you have electricity? Thank you, Michael. I'm gonna need to say that too. If you guys don't have a gas stove, right, and all you have is electricity, how are you going to cook? Do you have a way? Do you have like a propane tank? Y'all think about stuff like this, especially people who live in houses. Do you have a propane tank that you can hook up to a grill and cook some food, right? Oh, but that's right. You don't have any electricity. So your frozen food is what? It's gone. What do you think they're dealing with without having electricity right now in Louisiana? Without that electricity, all their stuff is thawing out, y'all. They're dealing with issues. Even the people in Haiti with what's going on, the water is becoming poisonous. The water is making people sick. Why? Because the filtration systems aren't working like they're supposed to. I hear Trina said, let's start grilling. And then I realized, what are we going to grill if the electricity is off and we don't have a freezer unless you have a generator. Do you have a generator? We have a generator. Thank you, Marguerite. We have a generator. Do you know how to do stuff old school? Like where you could put some charcoal on? Do you have, and Tyson's talking about the different fruits and vegetables. Do you have a garden? Trina, you're talking about the Yeti cooler. What do you do without your electricity for a month? It's not just about internet. It's not just about your TV program. It's about sustainability. How would we get through it if we did not have those functions that we have come to rely on? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Trina just said, this sounds like the Hurricane Andrew days, right? Where we had to figure it out. So what do you have? So candles, I need y'all to get some candles. I need y'all to get some lanterns. I need y'all to get some lighters. I need you guys to get some, the ones that you like, just press it and be able to light the candles and things like that. I need you to have charcoal and a grill. That's if you're able to keep your stuff cold, because you do have a generator. But outside of that, do you have, we have this big, what do you call it? We have this big pot that you can put what do you call those things? Help me out, somebody. The propane tank hooks into it, right? And it allows you to boil water so you can cook big pots of rice. You can cook big pots of beans, and you can fry things and do things like that. Do you have a way to feed your family? Of course, there's canned goods and things like that. But are you ready? Do you have the blankets that you need? Could you help your neighbor in the time of crisis? Could you do it? We have a garden out back. And if it's growing in the ground, you can go pick it up whenever you want to, except when the deers and the squirrels decide that they want to eat it before we get to it, because apparently we planted the food for them. Are you guys ready? So here's some ideas that are coming in the chat. Cynthia has her charcoal. She has her matches. She has an old school can opener. Thank you. What about the people out there who have the canned goods and don't have a can opener? Because we're used to the one that plugs into the wall. We've become to rely on those comforts. She coming to my house. I will give this to my husband. My husband is like the black G.I. Joe. Like, he got it all. He's going to make sure. I mean, he even has the little dry packets that you add water to. Preparation is key. Hey, Anthony, welcome to the broadcast. Preparation is key. And how are you going to be a help for other people? And my goddaughter Hasha's apparently coming over here too. And there's room for you all. Why? Because I'm being obedient and stocking up the storehouse. I'm being obedient. And I need everyone listening to me right now to pay attention. It's kind of like, because we see all these weather events and these war events and this and the shortage events and the supply chain events, we see them other places. But when you see a thing, you should think, would I be prepared if I was in that situation? Or am I too reliant on modern conveniences? Am I? Am I too reliant on modern conveniences? Okay. With that being said, we're going to come back to this topic, but I have to do a giveaway. So you guys know how we do on Unfiltered. We make sure that we are helping people be blessed and stay woke. This is the Be Blessed segment. So for those of you who have never participated, this is what you're going to do. You are going to be putting the numbers 1 through 100, and then we're going to come back and talk about more of these ideas that are coming up to be ready, because a shift in the atmosphere has already occurred. So we're going to put the numbers 1 through 100 in the chat, 1 through 100 in the chat. And whoever guesses the number that is written down on my notepad will be the winner of $100 today. So that being said, I'm going to get the graphic up, and you guys know how we do. Type the numbers 1 through 100 in the chat so somebody can be blessed. Here we go, guys.
Sometimes there's no one else who loves me like you used to. Sometimes we're not ourselves. There's no one I can turn to. And I'll take some time, but I'll be alright. We're moving on. We're moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Okay, so first of all, I've already found the winner. But before I announce who the winner is, let me go ahead and bust out my friend over here. Michael, you can't do 47 or 63. You got to pick one. You got to be decisive. However, it wasn't even close. The number for today is actually 26, and that would make Dimitri Johnson the winner. So congratulations, you have won. Okay, are we having a microphone issue? Okay, can you hear me now, Katrina? Okay, you did try, Michael. You did try. Katrina said microphone issues. Hopefully, you guys are able to hear me, because the winner is going to be Demetrius Johnson. Congratulations, congratulations. Send me an email to be blessed at bcwright.com. What do you send those to? Hashtag be blessed at bcwright.com. The sound is muffled again. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. It seems like when I go out and come back. How is this? You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So go ahead and send me an email to be blessed at bcwright.com. And now I'm getting an echo because I have two different mics. So how's this? Okay, here we go. Hopefully this is better, because I want to give you guys some of these wonderful tips that have come in from you all. Thank you. Perfect. Now, I want to give you guys some of these. I want to show you guys this. So I got this new microphone, right? This little cute microphone. It's a Yeti, right? And it's supposed to be great when it works. So I must be trying to still figure out this technology. But guess what? That's why I have you guys here to partner with me. You won $100. I forgot to tell you. So you can either text me how to send it to you, Cash App, Apple Pay, or Google Pay, and I will send it to you that way. But congratulations, text me or send that email. So I want to go over before I hop off today, because we got 5 more minutes before the show is over today. I have someone coming to do a photo shoot at the house today. And we've got an amazing month lined up for you guys. So here's some ideas that I want to share with you all that were being posted before we go. And we're talking about the shift in the atmosphere. And are you ready? Besides the solution of coming to my house, we want to make sure that you have water. How much water do you have? Oh my goodness. What if the running water, do y'all remember when we've had storms or emergencies before and the water supply, they were telling everyone to boil their water? Has anyone ever been through that? How much water do you have at your house? And if you don't have the water at your house, do you have one of those water filtration things where you're able to clean your own water? So these are basic things that we don't think about. Jennifer says she just purchased 2 old school can openers. I need you guys to have those things. Bleach, rubbing hull, and aspirin is one of the things that Michael Lanford posted. Good idea. Rutho just said, what about solar power? There are some generators that run off of solar power. There are some of these, I don't have one in front of me, but you all know those little battery packs. They kind of look like this. There are battery packs that run off of solar power. Trina just said, what about the ability to flush the toilet? You need water to be able to flush the toilet. If you are on any type of prescription, do you have 90 days of medication? How many of us let those prescriptions get down to the last day? I know I've watched my husband do it, blood pressure medication, and get to the last day of the prescription, right? And then go get the medication. What if you're not in a position to do that? 90 days supply. Thank you for that. These are things that we do not think about. Stock up on BOGOs. Wednesday, Publix, okay? I want you guys to know this. And Kroger does the same thing. Publix, you can go get buy one, get one free. And if you only buy one, it's 50% off. So you can save money and still stock up your home, because I'm telling you, you need enough for yourself and for your neighbor, because they may not know, they may not be aware. Think about how many of us on here hadn't even thought about what would happen. What would I do? I don't even know what a forever match and lighter is, but I know that I need to look it up and get one. Thank you for whoever put that in the comments as well. So you guys, I'm just here to tell you, whether it is the earthquake in Haiti, whether it's the fact that half of the country is on fire and cities are being evacuated, whether it's tornadoes in the Northeast and the first tornado emergency, whether it is flash floods that are causing even the New York subway system and expressways to flood. There are mudslides happening in China where you see like this whole city. And I know some of you have seen the videos where they just slid all the way down. And what about our seniors? Make sure that your parents are prepared. Make sure that any person you know that is elderly, that you have a conversation with them about the shift in the atmosphere and making sure that they're ready. Even if you don't have the conversation, just go over there and say, hey, I just wanted to put some stuff in your cabinet, just some just in case things. Protect your important documents also. I hadn't even thought about that. Do you have a safe? Do you have a waterproof lockbox to be able to protect your documents? We had at our old house, there was a lot of rain, and we actually had some flooding in our basement, and it was unexpected because we'd been in that house almost 20 years and it had never happened. Don't think that it cannot happen, because there is definitely a shift. Nora just said Cobb County experienced flooding last night due to a creek overflowing. It's like the water is saturated. It's saturated. There's nowhere else for it to go. And I'm telling you, it's going to find somewhere to go, just like the wind finds a place to go. Just water will find a place to go. So family, pay attention to what's happening in the atmosphere. Be blessed, stay woke, be ready, and stay prepared. And yes, Rutho, it is coming. We've been talking about it for months now. And I'm here to tell you that I'm glad you're here and I'm blessed you're here. Be ready. Think about those things we don't think about and be ready. So next week, Anthony Marie said, my father-in-law calls it house and land important documents. Yes, get your house and land documents together. I love you all so much. And it's so important to me to make sure that y'all are ready, to make sure that you're prepared and that we're thinking about the things that we don't think about. Because I'm going to say it like my sister Nita says it, a shaking is coming. There have been earthquakes in places that people didn't expect them in. So expect the unexpected. And you're going to sit back and be like, you know what? I was already ready for that. So I love you all. And until next week, when we're going to be talking to one of our business owners that we're going to talk to is Frank Flukas, who owns a Planet Smoothie in McDonough. And we'll be given the address to that, of course. We're going to be talking about the labor shortage. We're going to be talking about what that looks like for us as a community and why that mindset needs to shift. Okay. So love you guys. Until next time, y'all, be blessed and stay woke.
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. It's bigger, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Yeah. It's bigger, yeah. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Yeah, yeah. It's bigger, yeah. It's bigger than me. It's bigger. It's bigger.